Today, my friends, I'm here to teach you guys the Lavaloon attack strategy with 3 different Lavaloon attacks: Sui Lalo, Queen Charge Lalo, and also Electrone and Tron. So we've got a couple different examples here with this one, but let's go ahead and teach you guys the Lavaloon attack. So, the Lavaloon attack strategy. What are some of the different, more viable attacks, and how do we use them? Well, this is going to be an unconventional Lalo video compared to my other ones. I won't be going over any of the other things other than the key objectives for each of these attacks. Primarily, we've got a lot of different examples of Lalo and a lot of different strategies. We've got, for instance, this. It's a skelly donut. The next one that we're going to be seeing is going to be an electrone, Sui Electrone Lalo, another normal Electrone Lalo, a Tron Lalo, and Queen Charge Lalo. So we got a lot of different examples within this one video. But with any Lavaloon, let's talk about your key objectives. Primarily, let's specifically talk about the enemy CC, enemy Queen, and Eagle. Those 3 are going to be sometimes your key objectives. So in this case, you want to make sure that you are either taking out the enemy CC and the enemy Queen, depending on how the base is designed. Now, primarily with this attack strategy, the Sui Skelly Donut attack, you're going to be using 5 skeleton spells, and you're going to be using a Rage and possibly a Freeze to any of the multi-infernos. But why would you even use this? Why would this even be used? Well, if we consider where the Queen is, the CC, and the Eagle, they're all in the center, but also, once that Queen jumps into that CC compartment, Rage and the Skelly spells can go down and will easily take out the Queen, CC, and the Eagle really quickly. This way we don't have to worry about those, and we can Lalo the rest of the base, and also Sui with the wall breakers as well to break into a compartment to get rid of like a multi-inferno to get more value from that. So in this base design here, it's a really, really important thing to look at. So with the Skelly spell, it's something a little bit different. You guys maybe have never seen a Skelly Donut at Town Hall 11. Well, this is still a viable attack. And I didn't even expect, I thought these were just Sui Lalos, but they're not just Sui Lalos. They're actually like some really interesting variations of Lalo. So I'm really glad to bring it to you guys to hopefully learn something different than just a normal Lalo. Notice the heal and the rage and the skeleton spells. Why would the heal be used? It's kind of really interesting there with this, and I don't even know myself, but with the Skelly Donut, rage and the skeletons, especially those skeletons that have those shields, they're going to be able to get through a large portion of the base, or not really a large, but the key objectives there. Those 3 key objectives, like I said. Now you'll also notice that there was a free spell being used on the multi-inferno for the wall breakers to get into the base. And with anything, with any attack strategy, remember that you're doing that because you don't want the multi-inferno to completely take out all of your wall breakers. You do want to still break in, and you want to use the freeze to sort of stun it and then start to go in. So now this Queen can get value thanks to the wall break and get the multi-inferno and the rest of that compartment down, leaving what's left to this part of the base. And you'll notice here is that there is easy pathing for the lava hounds to get through the base and enough balloons to sort of get through it. We have 3 haste spells in hand, so we're going to use them to get to the next key defenses. Wizard Towers, Infernos, Expos, those are all going to be very important to use a haste spell on. This way we are still going to be able to get some sort of value from them, and it will also allow us to get a large amount of value. Now, if we're taking a look at the Grand Warden ability, we want to make sure that we're popping the Grand Warden ability right over as many of the balloons as possible to heal, well, not to heal them, but to make sure that they are protected against stuff such as air defenses, wizard towers, expos, multi-inferno towers, etc. That gives you guys a little bit more of a variety with this one. But with the Skelly Donut, you're really how you're trying to look at a base design for a Skelly Donut is look for a slightly more defenseless area, minus the Eagle, of course, but with the Eagle, you're going to get more value than you really thought of. Like, for instance, you are using skeleton spells and a rage and possibly a heal, like you saw, to actually get rid of the Queen, CC, and the Eagle. You don't have to worry about the CC now. You don't have to bring on poison. That's really good, but that's going to be very base dependent. So take a look at this base design and really notice how that was designed and then why the skelly spell was being used. But let's go ahead and take a look at another Lavaloon, which is going to be the Sui Electron Lalo. So on this base design, it's a little bit different, but one of the biggest things to notice is foreground expos. Why are foreground expos being used? Well, the main reason that they're being used is to counteract the P.E.K.K.A. Smash and or P.E.K.K.A. Boba attack. Now, this is something we can take advantage of. Lalo is a perfect spot if you see foreground expos, meaning that what we're going to be able to do is, for one, we have a Sui hero, so we're going to be breaking into here, and we're going to be getting value from our Sui hero to get down a multi-inferno, and then we're going to send our Stone Slammer and the clone to get rid of the eagle. Now, you may be already saying to yourself, wait a second, what about the queen? Well, that's where we got the skelly spell. That's where this strategy isn't really a full electrone and more of a Sui hero Lavaloon with the electron kill squad. So very similar. You can still call this a Sui or an electron attack, but I would consider this one a little bit more to be a Sui electron Lalo attack, as you aren't using the Sui, or you're using the Sui hero to get value, but you're not using the Electro Dragon to get value on the queen, like getting rid of the queen and getting other extra value. Instead of that, you're actually using the Electro Dragon to get more value, like almost like a Sui Electron portion. But instead what you're doing is making sure that you are getting value from it, and then what you're going to use is you're going to use the Rage and the Skelly spell on top of the queen to get rid of the enemy queen. And that is really going to be extremely important with this attack. Remember to place your your haste spells to those key objectives that you are really looking for. The freeze, to make sure that you can freeze either both the multi-inferno and or the queen, so that then you can take care of her very, very easily. This way you're going to be able to get a lot of value, and you can tell that this is also very, very strong. Doesn't take a lot of time, and it's very, very simple. Notice how you were using the wall break to get your queen into the base, so that then she could get rid of the multi-inferno. The eagle was going to be able to get taken down by the electro dragon, and then you could Lalo the rest of the base. And using the haste spells, not where they are, but where they're going. And that's what's really counts here with this attack. But another really easy attack here. All of these Lalos, except for Queen Charge Lalo, are really, really easy to learn. Now, I will try to really explain to you guys the Queen Charge Lalo in my sort of sense. Hopefully you guys will understand it, but 100% I will have to say, Lavaloon is still a very strong one, and I hope that you guys really enjoy all of these variations I'm showing you guys. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one, which is a pure Electron Lalo. Now, you may notice on this base design here is, what the heck is that queen placement? All the way on the outside here, easy to Sui. Well, yeah, you can just use your king. Easy to Sui, that's about it. I mean, if you see something like this, I would take advantage of it. It's really simple just to kill the queen from the outside portion right here. Very, very simple, and it really doesn't take a lot of time. So honestly, if you're going to do it, don't waste your time on sending like a blimp or a slammer to go in and kill the queen there if it's not even on the inside of the base. You can actually use it on the opposite side to get value from it, and that's where you should be using it. Now, what about two clone spells? Usually, I like to use two clones, as clone spells really will offer you to clone up those loons, and actually more loons than you would with just one. Now, another thing to also keep in mind is, what about the baby dragon? That baby dragon can definitely still be a huge, like deterrent to using any Lalo if you can't get rid of it. And you'll see from here is that the baby dragon actually stays up for the attack instead of being taken out. So that's going to really cause some problems for the Lavaloon portion. So how do you deal with something like this? Well, you want to start your Lavaloon portion, and here's the reason why. You want the baby dragon to target onto your lava hounds. This way that what happens is, once the lava hound pops, the lava pups will spawn, and that will help take out the baby dragon, since it'll be distracted onto a couple loons. This way you can still get that value and still take out the baby dragon from the enemy CC. That's just one tip I can give you guys. But remember as well is to Lalo away from those air sweepers. So make sure that when you're entering in with a Lalo, especially if you're fighting an air sweeper, use a haste to get them right through. Notice how we used our haste spells to get them into the base, get rid of some of those key buildings that we need to take out, and go through the rest of the base just fine. You also notice that the Eagle was still up for most of it, so the Eagle isn't entirely a big threat in terms of this strategy, but a very simple attack nonetheless, and giving you guys a clear example of how to use the electron Lalo instead of going in to deal with the queen. You can actually use it to go ahead and deal with more value, including the enemy CC, and kill the queen by other means by using the king and or queen to get that value out of the way. That way you're going to be able to still get a lot of good value from your electron, and you're going to be able to still wreck the base since the queen is on the outside. I used to do that a lot when I was at Town Hall 9 in terms of just suing the king and then doing my Lavaloon portion. So it's very simple with that Sui Lalo. But let's go and jump into the next one, which is the YOLO Tron. Now, you guys have probably seen this base design before. I mean, it's pretty common throughout not just Town Hall 11, but Town Hall 12 and 13 as well. So this base design is definitely something that I wouldn't typically hit, but with this attack strategy is you can hit this with it. Now, I think the main deterrent is going to be the easy to lure CC, so it's usually hard to deal with that. The Expo is right by the Town Hall, and also the Tesla farm that's on the outside of the base. Now, once we've gotten a clear area set, this is going to be dealing with the queen since she's most of the time going to be towards the outside of the base. And then we've also got to use we've got to make sure that we're using the poison to deal with the enemy CC so that then the Electro Dragons aren't having to deal with it. Now, for a little bit of time, you are going to see that the Electro Dragons are going to be staying a little bit closer to the outside, and one Electro Dragon from the Stone Slammer is going to stay up. Meaning that what we're going to be seeing here is we'll have the clone spell drop down so just a little bit early, so you can see that they're not entering it in just yet, but there we go. Now we've got 4 Electro Dragons, meaning that you can start your Lavaloon portion, starting to go in, but you already have your Electro Dragons moving into the base and still getting value. Even if they are getting taken out, your YOLO Tron is still going to get some sort of value for your Lalo. Notice how we are still going to be able to get down the Eagle, and also we're going to be able to clear out the single target Inferno that is there. And we can see that even a couple loons are being able to tank there. Not just that, but we have the haste spells going in straight over to those defenses, the key defenses, in order to take them out. So remember that when you're using a YOLO Tron, you want to make sure that you are taking a look at the air sweepers, which they were right here. You want to make sure though that you are getting that value as you enter into the base. Even if there are single Infernos, you really want to try and make sure that you are still going to be able to get that value. Now, this may not have been the best base design for a YOLO Tron. However, there are other bases, and I would say this. If you're going to use a pure YOLO Tron, then make sure that you look for chain value, because that is where your YOLO Tron is going to get the most amount of value. If you guys haven't seen Echo's video, or me and Echo's collab with this attack strategy in it, then I'm going to leave a link down in the description to check that out. But let's go ahead and take a look at the next attack, which is Queen Charge Lalo. Now, the Queen Charge Lalo. However, we can see here is that we're not bringing a jump, we're not bringing a quad quake or anything like that. Instead, we have wall breakers. Why is that? Well, we want to still get value from them. You'll notice that there was one test wall breaker, it got rid of a small bomb, and that's really important there, since we are still going to be able to get value from that. We also want to make sure that we are creating the funnel for our Queen Charge. Now, when we're using more than just 5 wall breakers, we're trying to do a double wall break, a double layer wall break. What is that? Well, you're going to be breaking into the first layer, like you see right here. We're breaking into this first compartment here, but then we also want to be able to break into one of these other compartments, allowing us to get more value from our Queen Charge. So notice that once we are able to get rid of a few more buildings, we're able to open up a little bit more of the base. It may not be perfect, but we are still going to be able to open up a lot more. Getting rid of the enemy queen and enemy CC are always going to be really important. You'll notice from this is that there was another baby dragon CC, so easily taking care of that is going to be very, very simple to do so. Now, once we've gotten the value that we needed, even if it's a little, just a small portion, then we can start sending in our Lavaloon. And you'll notice from this example is that as we send in our Lalo, we're surgically placing them, of course, but we're using the freeze. We have a heal as well, but we're using our freeze. We're using our rage. At any moment, we also have our haste spells to get the loons right up through. Our Grand Warden's ability to pop through the loons so that then they can still get value and stay protected. And also, I forgot to mention this with the queen charge, but use rage spells on your queen and healers, as most of the time you're going to be bringing them with this, so you want to make sure that you are keeping them alive as they deal with the enemy CC and enemy queen. This is going to be very, very easy to do, but other than that, you notice that it is a very simple attack. And it may be very difficult to learn, but I hope that what I can do is really, hopefully, teach you guys and make it where it's very easy, it's more simplified, like you saw there. So wall breaking in, getting the value, using your rage spells over the queen in order to make sure that that queen stays alive, and not just that, but once you've gotten the value that you need, which you can still let your queen walk and do all of that stuff, you can then send in your Lalo once you've gotten the value. So let's go ahead and take a look at another example with the queen charge Lalo to hopefully get you guys an understanding of it. You notice that this base design right here is definitely not a max Town Hall 11 or even a Town Hall 12, as the multi-infernos are going to be slightly weaker. But let's still give you guys the best way to really, use this attack strategy. You'll notice that the queen is actually going to be a little bit exposed here in this case, where we can actually use the king to either sui, or we can actually allow our queen to move in. Now notice that we are using 5 wall breakers, making sure that we are still going to be able to get value from our wall break by making sure that we are using only a 1-layer wall break, which is around 4 to 5 wall breakers. Rage spells go down in order to make sure that the wall break happens. In this case, it doesn't, so we are just that tad bit short. One more wall break or one more wall breaker would do it, but never to fear, because we still have a little bit of an opening, but actually the queen decides to target the wall and do that. However, from this bottom section is you'll see that there is value, air defenses, air sweepers, things like that. You want to make sure though that you are getting that value. So everything that the queen can reach, like you can see here, your queen's going to be able to reach those buildings and be able to take them out. This is what you're looking for. So as you're walking your queen in, you want to make sure that you're getting the value as much as possible. Even if there are still level 1 infernos, you should still be trying to charge into the base. This may not be a max Town Hall 12, but it's still roughly a Town Hall 11 with a level 1 Giga Tesla. But other than that, once you've gotten the value, like I said, you're gonna be able to start your Lavaloon portion. Remember that you want to send in a couple groups behind your lava hounds, and then you want to make sure that you are using the Grand Warden to go with them. The Grand Warden's ability will be able to allow them to but to make sure that they are staying protected underneath that. So making sure that you can pop that Grand Warden's ability, even if you're doing a 12v or 11v12, and there is still that Giga Tesla, you want to make sure that you are popping your Grand Warden's ability where those balloons take the most amount of damage. And that is where your Grand Warden ability should be used. Now also, what about the haste spells and the other spells? The haste spells should be used to get the loons right up through the base, getting them to those next defenses quicker than usual, and not just that, but making sure that they can get to those defenses that are going to do the most damage to them. And that's what you're going to be really trying to look for within this video, or well, within this strategy. But I hope this really helps you guys learn the Lavaloon attack strategy at Town Hall 11. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you guys did, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you guys don't miss anything. Also, let me know in the comments below how much you guys enjoyed this unconventional style of Lalo, or unconventional style of a Lalo video, and let me know if you guys want to see more of it. Also, feel free to go ahead and join my community Discord and follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And feel free to follow or join any of the clans I'm covering. Join their Discord in the description below. Also, feel free to check out my last video that I did yesterday. So feel free to go ahead and check that out. But with that being said, that's going to do it, guys, for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you guys next time. Corrupt, signing out.